Make hard choices in life.
A Stoic learns that the things which they cannot control are unimportant, a distraction at best or a hindrance at the worst. As such, they learn to ignore these things. This is important to you because, properly practiced, mastery of this technique can lift the weight of the world off of your shoulders. Worrying about things that you cannot control is pointless. It drains your energy and your time, which you could be using in attacking the problems that you can solve. In every situation, you need to ask yourself, is this within my control? Let's discuss some examples so that you can get a better idea of what this means. Someone doesn't like you or criticizes you. Just as you have your own will and interpretations of things, so do others. Rather than view it as a rejection of you, accept that another's opinion is simply their own way of interpreting the world. It is your interpretation of a thing that hurts you, so why not view this person's behavior as simply a case of a person following their own nature? Epictetus espouses this view in the Discourses, urging us to treat our critics with compassion, telling ourselves that he did what he believed was right. If you can do this, then opinions and criticism will roll off you like water off a duck's back. You have an illness. People get sick. It's not something that you can control. Some of us have to live with chronic conditions, for instance. Yes, this means that there are changes to your routine, but this is not something that you can change, so you should not waste energy focusing on it. Take what medications you need and go about your day. Epictetus even tells us of Agrippinus, a philosopher who used to praise all difficulties for the learning experiences which they brought. He'd even write songs praising his fevers when he had them. The lesson here is to accept nature and work your will in whatever ways you choose. Your flight is delayed by a snowstorm, a lighter example but certainly viable for those of us who have a temper. You can't change the weather, and no amount of yelling at some poor airline employee is going to help. Accept delays like this as inevitable and focus on what you can change, like how you spend this unexpected gift of time.
Loss of a loved one. While one of the most difficult things to accept, this is completely natural. Everything that lives will die. Rejoice that you were fortunate enough to share a part of their journey through life. Say your goodbyes at the funeral. Let this be enough, because life is for the living, and death is truly something that you cannot change. Epictetus tells us that the best way to accomplish this is not to say, I lost something, but rather that it was returned. Everything is experienced but briefly, and we don't own anything but our will and decisions. Even our bodies must go back to whence they came. You did not truly lose this person because you cannot own them. They were loaned to you, and the time came when they must be returned. Physical characteristics, too tall, too short. Physical characteristics that we were born with cannot be changed. Dwelling on them is an exercise in futility. Express yourself in what you do, not how you look. You are laid off from a job. This happens. You cannot change the fact, and dwelling on this fact takes away energy, which you could be putting towards getting a new, maybe even better job. These are but a few examples of things that you cannot change. It's rather like the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. The message is the same, but Stoicism is a philosophy, not a religion, and we must learn to recognize these things for ourselves. Let's follow our examples of things that you cannot change, with a few examples of things that you can change, how you spend your free time. Do you have a nagging feeling that your time could be better spent? You should listen to this, write things, journal your thoughts and experience, learn new things, always keep busy. After all, no amount of money in this world can buy you so much as an additional minute of your time. The type of people that you consort with. Surround yourself with fellow thinkers. The company that you keep greatly influences your own behavior. Epictetus warns against this in the Discourses, stating that if your friends are dirty, that it doesn't matter how clean you are, you will become a little dirty as well. the amount of alcohol you consume. Barring alcoholism, you can decide how much you imbibe, and it is important that you do. Stoics prize their faculty of rational thought and alcohol. Well, it's not so conducive to that. Practice abstinence or moderation, because in this, you have the power to decide the strength of your reasoning. How many luxuries you allow in life. Denying yourself some of life's luxuries by practice is the way that a Stoic strengthens their resolve. This is done constantly as an affirmation of life. Should they lose these luxuries, the Stoic is nonplussed. They already know exactly what it means to lose these things, and that they cannot only endure, but thrive in their absence. This last example of luxuries is one that is worth a deeper look. Mastery of this technique can teach you to truly be happy with what you have, and this is a prize beyond measure. Let's discuss.